What's going on, world?
Hey, everybody.
It's your guy, TJ.
And your girl, Dani.
And we're back with another episode of Lovers Quarrel.
Woo-hoo.
What episode is this?
25.
25.
I don't know a basketball player whose name starts, whose number is 25, because we're trying to do like Jordan year and Kobe. You tried to clown me. You clowned me.
No, I didn't really clown you. I just I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like when people be like, this is the Jordan year, this is the Grant Hill year. Like, it's just,
is he number 25?
No, he's 33.
Okay,
I'm just saying, when people just start throwing numbers, like, I'm trying.
I'm done.
All I know is that episode 26 should be the Charles Woodson year. The episode.
Okay.
Charles
he's
Woodson
number 26. Charles Woodson.
Is he a basketball player?
No, he's a football player.
Okay, because I was like, I'm really lost. I was like, I thought
you could have Googled that, though. You could have did something real quick, you know what I mean? But anyway.
Moving right along.
So, episode 26 is we're going to start off with the Charles Woodson.
Okay, got you. So, if you heard that other voice, we do have a guest, a very special guest. We have, you know him online as Blogxilla, otherwise known as Xilla Valentine. So, welcome.
Thank you, the Almighty.
Thank you. And like I said, we're going to start with our elevator talk. And that's always when we just talk about something that's going up in our lives or that we're kind of feeling down about. And let me start off by saying,
go ahead.
First floor going up.
All right, that's better.
All right, is that better? We're working on it. He says I have a voice for like the elevator, like I can for those real fancy ones. So you want me to go first?
Yeah.
So my elevator talk for this week is, it kind of irritates me. So today so if you under a rock, the royal wedding happened, and people were following it very diligently on all my threads, on my social media platforms. But then, of course, there were those people kind of popping in who were like, this is a distraction. This is, don't let it distract you from the day it's Malcolm X's birthday. And I'm like, we can be happy for people. We can like the pomp and circumstance of a royal wedding and still not be distracted from the fact that today is civil rights leader Malcolm X's birthday, or from the school shooting in Texas. Like these things are not. We are not so single-minded as peoples or as individuals where we cannot necessarily value both of these. Or
you need a whole 24 hours to celebrate Malcolm X's birthday?
Well,
you know how I celebrate Malcolm X's birthday?
How so?
By saying, happy birthday, Malcolm X. And then I'm done.
Well,
I ate pork today. Am I not supposed to eat pork because it's Malcolm X's birthday?
No, you do what you need to do.
Right, it's Malcolm X's birthday, so what? You know how I celebrate my mother's birthday? I say, happy birthday, Mom. And then I go do some hood rat shit with my friends.
Oh, my God.
That's what you do. You don't. Let's take a whole day off. How do you celebrate Martin Luther King's birthday? You just don't go to work, and you probably watch the most violent shit on TV.
Oh, my God.
I hate people because they are always fake mad about shit.
And that's kind of what got to me, because I'm like, you know what? These people look like they're in love. There's a big to-do over in England. Let them have their moment, and that's fine. And although I will say they did shut down 125th Street for 4 hours.
I saw that. That was cool.
So that
was cool. That's okay. You're a business. You want to shut down for 4 hours and go smoke weed and gamble and do everything that Malcolm Little did. By all means, power to you. You know what? You know how I celebrate it? You know how the world should celebrate Malcolm X's birthday?
How so?
By saying, oh, shit, the royal family just got married to a nigga.
Oh my! Yes, she is of mixed race.
She is a black person.
Her mama is black, and she was there with her locks and her nose ring, looking gorgeous.
She is a black.
Yeah.
Did any of the royal? I didn't watch the wedding because the only royal wedding I care about is Coming to America. But did any of the royal family do some racist shit like they did when they invited Meghan Markle over for dinner?
Not that I saw. No, I saw that. I did see though that everybody's talking about how she integrated blackness into the wedding.
Yeah.
So between the choir and the pastor speaking and. What else did she? Even the guest list. There's Oprah, Serena Williams was there. They wouldn't have been invited to the last wedding.
I think that was Prince Harry. Because he low key been a real nigga.
He definitely. I was looking through your thread, and I saw your tweet aged very well, and it was like he's looking like he's trying to risk it all for some brown sugar.
I called it. He been like black girls.
He's always been the I want to say the black sheep, but he's definitely been the rebel of the family. So
I want to date a ginger. But see, gingers don't like niggas like me. Like white girls with red hair, like black guys, kind of like Ben Carson, Jordan Peele. I'm too much of a T.I. for for a ginger.
I work with a redhead.
Really?
So, yeah. I mean, but she's in Baltimore, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. okay.
She teaches first grade.
That's a 40-minute flight.
It is. That it is. So I don't know. We can talk offline. But that's my elevator talk. I could toss it over to the hubster over here.
My elevator talk is just going to be, so for those who know me, I'm a big wrestling fan. And Enzo Amore was accused of raping some woman, and it came out that it was false, or that the trial didn't have enough evidence. So
no, she lied about it.
Okay, I think it was like
what's Enzo thing? My name is Enzo Amore,
and I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that.
Ruin that man's whole career.
That was my favorite intro.
Whole career.
Well, that's kind of what you get for fucking thoughts.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
There's a point in your life when you got to be like, you know what? I've gotten all the vagina that I'm too good for you.
Yeah.
I've gotten all the vagina that I've needed in life, and now I just need to find a nice young lady. And he was out there doing coke and getting. They literally was like, hey, who wants to suck a famous person's dick?
Really?
And she was like,
he was
me.
He was wilding.
She was like,
but that's
me.
what I was saying. Like
me.
The rumors
me.
is that like WWE did not like him because he was feeling himself. I mean, he was popular, but he just didn't care.
He was popular. He was hanging out with all the rappers. Rappers fucked with him.
And I liked it. Oh.
Yeah, so
he couldn't wrestle for shit though.
He wasn't that great. No,
but he was funny. That's what I liked about him. He was funny.
Yeah.
He was great with the mic, but. For me, I just hate when like accusations come out and then it ruins somebody's career.
Did you hear that USA is not renewing their contract for SmackDown?
No.
Yeah, USA is allegedly not renewing their contract for SmackDown. They doubled down and re-upped on Raw for like, I think it's like $500 million a year. And then they don't want SmackDown. So WWE is looking to sell SmackDown to a different network and then possibly move it up to 3 hours, even though a 3-hour show is kind of horrible.
Yeah.
It is. But why would you not want one and not the other? Is it ratings or?
Yeah, I mean
it's ratings and it's money. You know what I mean? Like
Raw
SmackDown,
is like the pop. Raw
because that's Monday, right? And SmackDown's Tuesday, right?
SmackDown hasn't been good since The Rock. Like
SmackDown's good. No, I liked it with Kevin Owens, but the problem is, here's the thing. They need to do an hour of women's wrestling, a dedicated hour of women's wrestling, because they have so many
the women's division is
good
popping.
female talent. You know what I mean?
They need a tag team.
And I'm sick of just watching one of them wrestle a week.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that they should create their own, like the women should get their own show, like with tag teams. Like,
that'll be dope.
They're good wrestlers. Like, there's good women wrestlers. Like, way better than what it used to be. So.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's quite honestly how it finally got me into the fray of like understanding what wrestling was. Because TJ, we've been together since high school, and so he's always kind of been into it. And I used to just kind of be like, whatever, this is stupid. But when they did Total Divas, and he would record that, and we started watching. And like then when he would watch SmackDown or Raw, and I'd finally be like, oh, isn't that so-and-so? Or isn't that so-and-so? And then it kind of like brought me in a little bit. So now I can like, you know, a couple years ago, I would have nothing to contribute to this part of the conversation. But now I can actually like know who Enzo Amore is, or the Bella Twins, or Nia Jax, or all these people. So
who's your favorite wrestler, TJ?
Right now?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I'm going to go with Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman is your favorite?
Right now. I like everything about him.
He's cool, I guess.
I like it. Who's yours?
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens is dope.
Kevin Owens is great.
Yeah, he's AJ Styles.
I like his bullfrog splash. I call it the
haircut.
bullfrog splash because he's so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
He's pretty agile for a big man.
Yeah, Kevin Owens. And
Kevin
then
Owens is dope.
I really like I like Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
I think he's going to be really good. I think he's next. He has the possibility to be really good. And I kind of even like him. Yeah, I kind of like him with Dolph Ziggler too. Mm-hmm. Like I'm just waiting on him to turn on Dolph.
Yeah.
And who else do I like? And I probably like, you know what I really enjoy? Like at first I was like, what? I don't like this character. But he's so good in the ring, like the Velveteen Dream from NXT. You don't watch NXT?
Nah, I don't watch NXT like that.
You don't watch NXT?
Nah.
What's wrong with you?
I gotta watch it.
NXT is great.
I gotta watch
Adam
it.
Cole, baby. NXT is the shit.
I'm gonna watch it.
So you never saw Shinsuke versus Sami Zayn?
Not NXT, no.
That is the best match in the last 5 years.
I got the network. I'll rewatch it.
He does have that.
Takeover. It's Takeover Brooklyn. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. Sami's last match in NXT. They went full out strong style. Okay. It is the match that you go, why do you like wrestling? And you go, watch this.
Okay.
So you don't watch New Japan either?
Nah.
So you're not a wrestler.
I've heard about it, but
you didn't see Omega versus Chris Jericho?
Nah.
Kenny Omega is phenomenal.
Now, I've heard of Kenny Omega. I know he's like really, really big, but nah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I gotta catch up on that.
I just realized I'm a bigger wrestling geek than I thought I was.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Putting me on the game.
Yeah, NXT. You gotta watch NXT. NXT is really good. Adam Cole. So they put all these Ring of Honor guys in NXT, and they're doing sort of an invasion angle to where the NXT, to where the Ring of Honor guys who are in NXT have sort of taken over NXT. It's really, really good.
I'm gonna start watching it.
Ciampa versus Gargano. Oh my God, that was a barn burner too. 5-star match. The WWE's first 5-star match in decades.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna come back so you can continue schooling me on this.
NXT is better than WWE.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah. So you didn't watch the takeover before Mania?
Nah, I didn't. Wow. You know what's crazy about that? I had tickets to NXT when they were in Brooklyn. My mother had box seats from her job, and she was like, "Do you want to go?" I was like, "Nobody." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." Straight up like that.
NXT, the takeover before Mania is always better than Mania. They put on a 6-man ladder match for the North American title. Oh my God.
All right.
So you didn't see War Games either? Nah. Oh my God, how can you say you like wrestling?
Because, I mean, I grew up on watching like the traditional wrestling. So, you know what I mean? When they make the offshoots, I'd be like, I'm not watching it.
This is going to sound more fucked up than it actually is. But when Vince McMahon dies, WrestleMania is going to be phenomenal. Triple H is I don't like Triple H as a character, but he is a phenomenal wrestling mind. And yeah, they're doing phenomenal stuff at NXT. You should definitely watch it.
I'm going to watch it. I'm definitely going to watch that.
Segue.
Yes, yeah. And we're going to wrap that up with a nice little bow because I'm not even going to pretend like I have a dog in that fight.
We're going to watch it.
Yeah, once you put the
I know way too much about wrestling. All I do is watch wrestling videos online.
It's all right, though. And listen, everybody got their something. So we could go ahead with the relationship tip of the week. This is always...
Stick it in her booty.
No.
That's the... No.
With consent. Don't... Yeah. This is always our time where this is about any type of ship. It could be a marriage, a long-term relationship, friendships, anything like that. And to be just simple, I think I'm going to take it back to the basics. I think you got to find something, you know what, touching on what we just did, you got to sometimes go outside of your comfort zone. You got to, explore the interests of the person that you're with or that you're trying to establish a friendship with or a relationship with. So like I said, I couldn't give two shits about wrestling until there was kind of like a bridge between he and I that brought us to that. And so now, I'm a little invested, more invested than I was, like I said, a few years ago. And you don't have to do those things, but you should if you're going to be with somebody, you got to have to kind of explore or at least, participate occasionally in their interests because it's important to them. It means something to them. And, don't look down on those things because that could be the very reason why you fell for someone. It could be the very reason why you build a relationship, a bond with somebody, even on a friendship scale. But make sure it goes both ways. So, and that is the relationship tip of the week.
I'm all for it. So,
all right. You wouldn't date anybody who completely poo-pooed on wrestling, right?
No, my ex-girlfriend who I was in a situationship with for 6 years didn't watch wrestling and wouldn't watch with me. And every time we did watch it, she just would bother me. So yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think my relationship tip would be to know when to let go. Because like I said, I was in a situation for 6 years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And you have to know when to let go. And a lot of times we try so hard to hold on to stuff. But sometimes you got to be like, fuck that bitch. I'm too good for her. and move on with life and just drown in pussy for 6 months until you're happy. So
you
now,
gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
yeah.
Right?
So now, you know, Lord forgive me. I know I've been sinning.
So I guess that's say like you're currently
fucking all these bitches.
So I guess that lets me know that you're currently like single or dating right now, right?
I've been single for 6 years. Like I said, it was only a situationship.
Okay. Fair enough.
Never went to full level.
Never went pew. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you've been hearing the voice. You've been, we already, casually introduced them, but now is the time for us to formally introduce and dig into the mind and thoughts of the infamous, the famous, however you want to take it, Blogxilla, Xilla Valentine, journalist and influencer. I try to take notes, try to be, prepared. Stand-up comedian, host of the Free Game podcast. Your resume goes on and on. If there's anything else you'd like me to add,
I want you to keep going.
Okay.
I want to see how much stuff I do.
Editor at Global Grind.
Yeah, senior
entertainment editor. I do have that here at Global Grind, and the list goes on and on. Those were I thought those were like the highlights. But
creator of the Xilla movie party.
That too.
Creator of the first relationship blog in history of blogs, blogxilla.com.
Boom.
One of XXL's top 50 blogs in the world.
That too.
Only person who was on there twice as Blogxilla and as Global Grind.
Dope.
Do it.
I also helped Ava DuVernay launch her website, The Thought Collective, the Urban Thought Collective, way back in the day before she was a director. I had a column on there called Politic Bro. What else did I do? I am the inventor of the retweet. I
nice.
Have over 100 million views on YouTube. The list goes on, but I don't want to talk about myself. I'm humble.
Well, this is about yourself. This is your time. This is your time on our little show for you to shine. So we were listening to some of your podcasts, Free Game, and I thought it would be interesting to know, because this is how you always start off yours. How did your parents meet?
How did my mama and my daddy meet?
Yeah.
I said it in episode 2. I believe my dad met my mom on Broad Street, which is like the main shopping center in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Okay.
And they just kicked it off and hit it off ever since.
Yeah. My parents met at my uncle's wedding. Yeah. So that's so it was my mother's brother, and my dad was a friend of the bride's side, and they met on the dance floor. Now, granted, they did get divorced when I was in like 19, but that's still it brought me here. So I'm still grateful for my uncle for marrying.
Said she liked him. She said, I liked your dad. I just liked him.
Yeah,
she hate that nigga now.
I think my dad was real sweet on my mom at first because, she was this little petite spitfire, and he's kind of was like, he was a bigger guy, kind of quiet, nerdy, but he was like, I'm going for it. And that's all I really know.
And my parents met at college. My father was he was in school, but he was also working security. So he seen my mother, and he was like, excuse me, come here. And he was like, I need to see your ID. So he got her ID, and they gave it back to her, and that's how he was able to find out like her name and stuff. And then
that is creepy.
And then from there, he tried to like go out on dates for her. She always say no, no, no. And then one time she said yes.
That was history.
Yeah.
So.
And it produced these, all these amazing people sitting right here. So I guess one question that I have for you is about that. Why did your parents say? Why do you like that to be like your leading question? Because it's interesting, which is what you're known for, but
it's different. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I like that question. The main reason is just because it's interesting and it's different, and some people don't know how their mother and their father met.
Agreed.
And I always ask it like, how your mom and your daddy meet? I ask it the same way every time. But it's just a good icebreaker. You know what I mean? It breaks the ice. It makes you comfortable. So I just like that as an opening question. And I think everyone should have an opening question. Not necessarily that opening question, but just their thing that they ask all the time. who does Inside the Actor Studio? Why am I forgetting his name? James Lipton.
Yes.
He has a series of questions too, like what's your favorite cuss word? So it's really an inspiration off of that. Like, what can my thing be? And I like that to be how your mom and your daddy meet. I remember asking Cardi B, and I said, if you go and watch my Cardi B interview on YouTube, I go, how you doing, Belcalis? And she just melts. Because this was before she was famous. I mean, she didn't have Bodak Yellow. And then I asked her how mama and her daddy meet, and she told me the story, and it just totally just broke the ice. And it was a good way to just sort of start and be different and let people
It's kind
know.
of a disarming question, too. Like, it can, I see it brings people's walls down.
That's dope.
My next question. You can ask the next one, because this was my good question, I thought.
Go ahead.
So, obviously, you're in this industry. So what was the moment that let you know that you had to go from watching entertainment to being of the entertainment industry? Was it just something like a flip of a switch, or was it a gradual thing, or just always a passion?
I actually talk about this on the next episode of my podcast. What it was is that I knew. Well, I started out writing about sex and relationships on MySpace. But as far as entertainment, I was just like, I noticed a lot. Entertainment as far as film, I noticed a lot of people were music bloggers.
Yeah.
And there weren't any black film bloggers. So I did that. I don't like doing what everyone else does. I've never been a groupthink person. I've never been a person who follows trends or bandwagons. I mean, I guess I follow trends. But I've always been a march to the beat of my own drum kid.
Yeah.
And I still feel like I'm that kid, even though I'm damn near 40. So yeah, I just was like, there's no one covering film, and I like movies, and I want to see movies for free. So
that's true.
I was like, I'm gonna cover film, and I knew I would be good at it.
Yeah, I love movies too. It's strangely enough, I'm like one of those people who can like, for a good amount of movies, like I don't even have to have seen it. Like I could have just seen like the commercial one time, or just heard about it on like Entertainment Tonight, something like that. And then when I'll see like a clip of it, and like I'll know what it is, and wouldn't have even seen it or anything like that. And it's like,
you can remember what you from.
I can kind of remember it, because it's like my sister always texts me when like she wants to one up my brother-in-law. Like she's like, Dani, what's this movie? What's this that? So are you gonna try and like?
I'm gonna test you. Yeah. So what I'm doing now is, she says she can name a movie from a picture. So I'm going to pull up a still from this movie and see if she can guess the.
I might be putting my foot in my mouth right now.
Yeah, you should never say that. Let's see.
I do love movies, but
I got faith for you.
Full disclaimer: I do have a 1-year-old, so you know my movie buff skills have kind of waned a little bit. I'm gonna try not to try. I don't want to eat my words just yet. Let's see. Okay.
What about this movie right here?
Is that out of time? Out of sight?
That's out of time.
Out of time?
Out of time. Okay. Look at that.
So not late then.
You did it.
Yeah, and Eva Mendes. Yep.
All right.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Shout out to my babe.
All right.
Still got it.
Not trying to embarrass myself either.
Actually, that was Man on Fire. I'm playing.
No, I saw Man on Fire.
That's my favorite Denzel movie.
Really?
Yeah. I wish you had more time.
I don't know what my favorite Denzel movie is. I mean,
I think John Q's mine.
I mean,
Malcolm X was great
actually,
too.
I really like
John
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. I've
was a
never
great
seen
movie.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Really?
And I keep telling myself I have to watch it.
I had to watch it in high school for a paper.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Goonies. I like Goonies, Fight Club, Menace to Society, a movie called Blue Ruin, and Memento. Those are my favorite movies. You should definitely watch Blue Ruin.
Okay, I will definitely put that on the list.
All the other movies you probably saw or heard of.
What's your favorite movie?
Yeah, I know, yeah, my favorite movie. My favorite movie is The Fifth Element.
The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Lilu.
Yes, it has a little bit of everything: action, adventure, romance, comedy.
Did you see his new movie, Valerian?
Nah, I was momming. So
It's not bad.
It's not that bad. I know Rihanna was in it, and I was Cara Delevingne. What's yours?
I have so many. I like The Wood.
Yeah.
I went so black, but yeah, I like The Wood. Menace to Society is a great one. Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh yeah,
Juice.
you love Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street is probably that may be like my top favorite.
I know the whole Menace to Society movie. Every word.
Like every word.
You acting like a little bitch right now, nigga. You acting real paranoid and shit. Now these fools smoked your goddamn cousin in front of you, nigga. Blew his head off in front of your face. You ain't gonna do shit. I ain't letting that shit ride. We gonna go in there, smoke them niggas. I don't give a fuck who out there. Look, I ain't killing no kids, all right? Man, who the fuck old gonna be out there at 12 o'clock at night? I don't give a fuck. I smoke anybody. Both of y'all niggas shut the fuck up. Yeah. Scared to peel these motherfucking niggas caps. Give me my blunt.
And see.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. That's a classic. That's a classic.
I know that old
I didn't watch that movie until I got with him. So
you lived the deprived life.
Yeah, I watched a lot of movies, but it wasn't speaking to me at that point.
So you're known for asking interview questions that aren't fun. That aren't run of the mill while still being timely and relevant. How do you determine what you ask and whom to ask it to?
I never know what I'm going to ask. I don't prepare at all.
Really?
But no, I just walk in and just be myself. That's just how I just know I just have confidence in myself that if I sit down with someone, I'm like, okay, it'll just flow.
Got you.
Sometimes I write like little bullet points like, okay, well, maybe we'll talk about this, or here's an idea that I have, but I have not written a question.
Got you.
I wrote questions for Oprah, but I didn't know how to ask them. Like I was like, okay, I want to make sure my questions are good for Oprah.
Yeah.
Although the first time, it was my third time interviewing Oprah. Anyway, I was like, okay, I don't know how to get any of this out. Like, because she's with 2 other people. So do I sit down and be like, why don't you talk to Monique? What do you do, right?
Yeah.
So she mentioned something and she talks about voice, and I'm like, oh, Oprah voice. I wanted to ask that. That's something I knew I wanted to ask. How do you figure out which words to emphasize when you do the Oprah voice? Because it's so funny. She's like, it's not, she's like, Chicago Live. And she's like, it's not, whatever she said. She said, it's not John Travolta. It's me, John Travolta.
Yeah.
She said, you just know. So I was like, oh, that makes sense, I guess.
So do you research get the subjects of your interviews beforehand, but then like come in and kind of
I just walk into the room
like
and be myself. I don't recommend anyone else do that.
I don't either. I wouldn't.
But I know enough about film
to kind of get,
and I've seen the movie, and I know enough about life to bridge the gap. I don't recommend anyone do what I do at all, because it's completely reckless. And but it's been working for me, so I'm not gonna switch. Although I probably should.
Has it ever?
Yes. Not worked?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've never had a good interview with Jeff Bridges. Is it Jeff Bridges? Yeah, Jeff Bridges.
From
he was in
Big Lebowski?
Yeah, he was in the Big Lebowski, and he was in the new Kingsman Golden Circle movie.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, and he was in R.I.P. PD with Ryan Reynolds. And every interview I had with him is trash.
Really?
Trash. I asked him about his feet, and he was like, wait, my feet are? I was like, you put your feet on your Instagram. He was like, I don't know.
Oh.
Whatever.
Yeah, I feel like, I guess people are not, as much as like these people are celebrities or actors, like there's still like that level of like, there's just some people who aren't necessarily the best at conversation or at least maybe with people that they're unfamiliar with. So I guess you can't be like.
I got a clip that I think is going to go viral. I did that again. I just went in the room and sat down with the guys from Queer Eye for the straight guy.
Which one?
All of them.
Oh, okay.
And then the really made up one with the hair. I don't know his name. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I only remember Karamo because he was on Real World.
Karamo's super cool. He was like, you don't watch the show, do you? And I was like, yeah, I've watched the show. And he was like, whose hair did I do? And I was like, you don't do hair? He was like, okay, well, maybe you did watch the show. And I was like, no, I did. He was like, see, you should watch the show. Here's why you should watch the show. And they just like railed on me for 4 minutes. And I was like, dude, like, this is like on camera. Like, why are you doing this?
Oh my God.
But yeah, it was fun. I can't wait to show it to people. I can't release it until like June, but I can't wait to show it to people.
Got you.
Oh, I'll be looking for it.
And then I'm going to get clowned. I don't care though.
Listen, as long as you love it.
Do you remember your first interview?
My first interview? For a junket or just interview? My first interview, I went to the bathroom And I had a podcast like 11 years ago. It's called Folks With Nothing Better to Do Radio, FWNTBD. Folks With Nothing Better to Do, whatever the acronyms are. If you search that on iTunes, you can actually listen to all the old episodes from 11 to 12 years ago. And I sat down, this when I was on MySpace, and I met this girl from LA who let me pee on her, which is phenomenal.
Wow.
Anyway, went to a strip club. And I went to the bathroom. When I came back, Raheem Devine was sitting next to my girl, like macking at her. And I was like, you trying to fuck my girl?
Oh.
And I was like, well, I have a podcast. I have a radio show.
Yeah.
Can you come on my radio show? And he was like, yeah. And that was my first interview.
Wow.
Raheem Devine.
Okay.
That last tidbit, did you share that with when you were on Horrible Decisions? Those are our girls.
Oh, to pee on somebody?
Yeah, that's been a point of conversation for them a couple times.
I was on in my situation. I peed on her because I loved her. I think that's an amazing thing. It's like a total thing of submission. You let him pee on you?
No.
You want to?
No.
You peed on her? You peed on him?
No.
We don't do no water sports.
Oh, but y'all talked about that on Horrible Decisions?
No, they talk about it on Horrible Decisions. When we
Mandy
went on,
and Weezy be talking about it.
They talk about it when we were on there. They never really had any like. For February, they kind of wanted to have
like
couples on, so we went on, and they never really had like a monogamous couple that was on there, so that was us. We broke that that barrier.
Monogamous meaning you two only sleep with each other?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, because they would have people who were on there who were like swing and do everything.
Yeah. So it's just us. Yeah. And so we were on there, but I just remember that's always like when we listen to their show, so that's always like a conversation piece that comes up and between the different guests and everything like that. So it made me think like we were listening to that episode too, and I was like, I don't think I heard that. I heard to think about the armpits, but I was like, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, armpits are amazing. Someone asked me about that today. They was like, oh, I heard you on the Horrible Decisions podcast talking about armpits. I was like, I'm an armpit connoisseur.
Really? That's a beautiful
I didn't even know it was a thing, but
it's a whole porn.
I didn't see that in the category section. I missed that. I kind of skipped a little bit further down the alphabet when I get on there, but moving right along.
Have you guys watched armpit porn?
No, but I will Google it.
I'll definitely watch it. I'm open to look at things. But
Belladonna and Sasha Grey have a phenomenal armpit session.
So we got to do that when we get like a sitter. We'll just like sit down. We'll gather around. You know, people gather around like the campfire and things like that. We'll gather around the laptop.
Get some of that. What's the sangria?
Whatever that's. I don't know what that new. Have you heard about the new sangria? That's supposed to be like the fancy for Loco.
I heard about it, but I don't drink sangria. I'm a man.
Oh. Excuse me? Nah.
Not that men don't drink sangria, but like I drink like whiskey and like cognac and vodka straight.
Oh, you just
got time for sweet ass sangria.
Oh, sangria. I had a sangria last night. It was delicious.
Yeah. That's the same reason why I can't listen to Bruno Mars.
Oh.
I'm an American. I can't listen to a little Hawaiian man sing about love. I own stamps.
Hawaii is the 50th state.
Yeah, I'm going to Hawaii next week.
You got to tell us how it is. It's on my bucket list.
I've been there like 4 times. It's
beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice. Nothing.
Yeah, it's
okay. 2.
It's Hawaii. It's like, how many pineapples can you eat out of?
This is true.
The first time in Hawaii is dope.
And then
but
after
like
that,
the second time, it's like, oh, a beach. Mm-hmm. After you've been to like multiple islands, it's like islands are all the same.
Okay. Did you eat pork there?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pork's always good. Pork is from the devil, though. That's why Muslims tell you not to eat it. Nothing that tastes that good should kill you.
Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right. Well, let me ask you this before we get too off topic.
I voted for Donald Trump. No, I'm just playing.
Interview over. We're good. Hard pass. Like, we'll just try again.
Yeah, no, I'm just playing.
Nah. So going back to interview, so you know you don't prepare. You don't ask. You don't really.
I prepare. I just don't write questions.
You prepare. You don't write questions. Like, let me clarify. Has there been a question that you spit out that as soon as you said it, you wanted to like take it right back?
This last interview I did with Zazie.
Okay.
If you go to, did I put it in the interview? I think I might have, or I may have cut it out. The chair was super uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Like, so when I sat in the chair, and if you watch the beginning of the interview, like all you see is just like my crotch, just like all up in the air. Mm-hmm. And it just was a super uncomfortable chair. So I asked her a question, and then they cut me off and said something. And then she was like, I'm sorry, what was your question? Mm-hmm. And I had forgot it. So the only thing I could think of was, how'd you film that scene? Which was what I did not want to ask, because I didn't care how they filmed the scene. I know how you film a scene. So I regretted that question. Yeah, it was nothing fancy. A question that I totally wanted to ask and didn't get a good answer of was The Rock. No, Vin Diesel. Mm-hmm. I interviewed Vin Diesel for this movie called Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk.
I heard of it.
At the end of the interview, I said it just like this. You gonna squash your beef with The Rock? And his publicist was like, we are not gonna go there. And he was like, ooh.
Was he like seething?
He don't want beef with me. He don't want beef with me.
I am Groot.
Are you from New York? I was like, yeah, I remember the tunnel. He's like, yeah, he don't want beef with me. When it's all said and done, at the end of the day, Fast and Furious 6 or 8, whatever it is, it's going to be a phenomenal movie. And I can't wait for the fans to see it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm thinking millions of views, billions of views. And when I get my tapes, it goes, and they just cut my tapes.
Oh.
But it's a good story.
It is a good story. That's a great story. You heard the audible gas that you got from Out of Us.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, so you know what? Some of those things are never meant for the world to see, but I'm sorry that happened to you.
It's all good.
You on?
Well, you kind of mentioned The Rock. How was that? I know you asked him like a question about how does he show his emotions, and I thought the question was dope because it was a different question. Yeah. But how was he just in general, like with you being someone who loved wrestling, and
have The Rock and I talked about wrestling? I've interviewed The Rock like 6 times. Okay. This is the first time I've actually interviewed The Rock by himself, which was different. But The Rock's cool. Like he's this was the first time he remembered like seeing my face previously. Because they're in and out. So like I've seen you. We sat down. How you doing this time, brother? Good to see you again. And he asked me if I wanted a picture. I was like, I don't want a picture. I was like, I want a picture of you, not with you. Now I kind of do want a picture with The Rock. Anyway, but The Rock's cool. He's a cool guy. He said he misses Cinnabon. Asked him what's his best memory from before he was famous. And he goes, going to the mall and getting a Cinnabon. Just going to the mall, going grocery shopping. That was my jam. I loved going to the grocery store, and I can't do that now.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You think about it.
Yeah. Because I know right now I'm not famous at all, and I'd love to send somebody in my place to go to the damn grocery store. But I guess, I can't I got to count my blessings.
Imagine if you sent someone to the grocery store for you, it will fuck up your order. They would either only get what you put on the paper, and then you'll be like, fuck, I forgot to write down blah, blah, blah. Or they'll get the wrong thing. That will happen every time you go to someone goes to the grocery store for you. They will forget something or get some wrong shit. They'll be like, oh, they don't have sun-kissed tuna fish. Let me get Starbright. And you're like, I don't like starfish tuna fish. I like the other kind. You know what I mean?
Chicken of the sea, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
That is true. Everything.
That'll be annoying.
Yeah, you gotta look at everything in 2 lights. It would be annoying, but I guess it's just like you gotta get used to the new normals too. Like,
what if they pick pears weirdly?
I don't eat pears, so that's
I'm
good.
just saying, oranges or apples.
Well,
you come home, you want some bananas, and you like your bananas green from the store, and they bring you a bushel of yellow bananas that are gonna be rotten tomorrow. You would hate them.
I will FaceTime that person and have them show me the bananas so I can confirm.
Yeah, but then they'll see you and someone will be like, oh, is that The Rock? And you'll be like, yeah. And then you have to talk to a fan, which is awful.
I wear a hood and dark glasses. I'm trying to be solution oriented.
Yeah, I'm
here.
just saying I get it.
I do too. I'm trying to just be solution oriented.
What venture would you takes the most thought? What do you feel like you can do in your sleep? So it's kind of a 2-parter.
What?
Like as far as like you interview people, you stand up, you have all these different kind of like hats. Almost like hats that you wear. So what do you feel like takes the most effort and thought and focus, and then what is the one that you can just like, which I think you might have already kind of touched on. You can just kind of get up and go and do it.
Here's the thing. When I met Russell for the first time, Russell Simmons, I was like, and I looked at him and I was like, wow, this guy, I don't know if he told me this or if I realized it. He might have told me this. He said, I get money for being myself. And I was like, wow, I want that. Russell gets paid to be, or used to, got paid to be Russell Simmons. And I want to get paid to be Xilla Valentine. Until now, I have done that very well. Everything has been natural. Now I'm being more strategic with it.
Okay.
So I put the equal amount of thought in everything I do. It's not like I'm not thinking about it, but it is everything I do is unconscious at the same time because I'm literally just being me. So I approach everything as, how would 12-year-old Xilla do this? You know what I mean?
Okay, got it.
And put that kind of energy in it, and I literally just be myself, which I got from Oprah. The first time I interviewed Oprah was for a movie called The Butler. And in The Butler, the Forrest Whitaker's character talks about putting a mask on to appease white America, basically. She goes, I never put on a mask. When I was doing the show AM Chicago, there was a guy whose name I forget, who was her producer, who says, you'll never beat Donahue, so just go out there and be yourself. And they beat Donahue. So that's what she's been doing ever since. She's been being herself. And I was like, that's what makes Oprah great, is that Oprah is Oprah. And I hear a lot of young journalists say, I want to be the next Oprah. And I just nod and agree, but in my head I think, you'll never be successful because you're trying to be Oprah. You're trying to be someone else. If you want to be the next Oprah, be yourself. Like, so I'm just being me. So like, I went on MSNBC yesterday, Ari Melber the Beat.
I watched that.
And Prize was like, I think Donald Trump is faking it and pandering to audiences. I was like, no, he believed that shit. He's like, his wife's an immigrant. I was like, yeah, but she's different. And he was like, how is she different? And I so badly wanted to say, nigga, she white. So I just did this on live TV. I did the I'm black hand gesture. I was like, Ari smiled, but I was like, yo, she's. I was like, if I gave him the example of, if I have a gun, I'm a thug, but if one of these kids shoot up the school, they're mentally disturbed. And it's just we're in different Americas and we have different timelines.
Absolutely.
If you look at a white person's timeline, it's going to be cat videos and you know, unseasoned food. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you look at our timeline, it's going to be ratchet twerking and funny memes and dumb shit like that. So our timelines are different. We live in different Americas.
It's absolutely true. And it's funny, like not funny, but I'm glad you brought that up because that was definitely something that I did want to talk about because I'm a middle school teacher. So, and I teach in West Baltimore. And so, like, seeing that and you know, and talking about that when I saw you on the beat was, to me, important and impactful because, like, I have to participate in lockdown drills and I have to, like, explain to my kids why, you know, because they'll be like, well, Ms. Byerson, why we gotta, like, sit in the back room and this and I'm like, because I'm like, this is the reality of the world we live in today. And I'm like, and until something changes, like policy as opposed to thoughts and prayers, like you said, you touched on, I'm like, this is going to be our new norm. I was like, I don't really know how much it's going to help. I said, I know it's better than standing in front of the door. I said, but it's not, I said, but this is the world that we live in today. And I'm like, and I'm sorry that you even have to do this. I said, but it is what we have to do. Yeah.
Are the doors in the classrooms bulletproof?
No, they're not at all.
And so, yeah, all you guys are doing is just lining up to be shot down.
We're delaying things, you know. And I mean, but I
don't mean to laugh at that. I'm sorry, but it's just fucked up. Like, do something. Like, do something. Something. Like, they killed toddlers in Sandy Hook. You know what the government did? Nothing. The Republicans did nothing.
Nope. So,
and Obama went on TV and cried. And you know what the Republicans did? Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, if you couldn't, and I think we had touched on that in a previous episode too, which was like, if you can't feel something or feel compelled to change things, if by all, you know, especially from America's perspective, like some of these lily white, like 6 and 7 year old kids in suburban, in suburban America, then what will? Like, it's not going to it's not going to happen anywhere else. And I thought it was also really profound when they were interviewing one of the, was it Santa Fe, Texas? She was, they asked her, one of the high school students, they were like, are you surprised? Did you think this would happen? She was like, no. She's like, I feel like it was inevitable. And I'm like, there's nothing else to say after that.
This is fucked up. But when I first saw the shooting, it was like NBC Charlotte. And my heart dropped. I was like, school shooting, Charlotte. And then I was like, oh, it was in Texas. Never mind. It doesn't involve me. Because my daughter goes to school in Charlotte. So I was like, oh shit, Charlotte. Yeah, then I was like, oh, well, it doesn't involve me. I immediately moved on with my life. It was just like the This Is America Donald Glover thing. It was like, oh, he shot someone. Now let's dance. It was literally just like that.
Yeah, it's like how, and it's a testament to how desensitized we've become to it. It's just like it's another one, and then because until anything changes. But I do firmly believe though that if it's going to happen, it is going to be the people, like the students. It's going to be the people who are in it.
You know why I tweet about certain stuff?
Why?
Because I feel like I have to. I don't really care.
Really?
Like, no, not at all. I would have been totally fine never talking about that school shooting in Texas.
Really?
That's how desensitized I am. Yeah, absolutely. Really? We don't give a fuck. No one cares. Why do you think R. Kelly had a career for so long?
This is true.
No one cares. In full disclosure, I still want to listen to Contagious. What the hell is going on? I do. But R. Kelly's an awful person, so okay. I guess we can't listen to it anymore.
Have you canceled Kanye?
Yeah, I would never listen to Kanye again.
Okay.
Not even old
Don't
Kanye.
play with my politics.
Not even old Kanye?
Not even old Kanye, no. I was in a store yesterday, and I found myself singing college dropout shit, and I was like, no, I can't sing this.
You gotta catch yourself. It's like it's hard to unbreak the habit, especially when it's such good music from the past. But yeah, I had to walk away, shook my head at that one, and we got in a whole argument about that too.
I watched a movie called Wonder, and it made me feel again. Really? I was like, oh, I have emotions.
Yeah,
I'm a human. Wonder's a great movie. It's about a kid with facial dysphoria.
I saw Owen Wilson
and it's in the movie. I laughed, I cried, I sad cried, I happy cried. I had so many emotions that I didn't know I had inside of me because I thought I was a monster. We're all monsters. We don't give a fuck about anything. You know what happens? Like when you see something, like perfect example, this girl tortured a cat on Snapchat. Yikes. These two little girls tortured a cat on Snapchat. And you know what I did? I searched for the video. It's like, I want to see this. Like when certain stuff happens and they don't show the video.
It's that morbid curiosity that people have too.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I want to see it. I want to see this.
That's why you look at car accidents.
Yeah.
And because you obviously you wish you're happy it's not you, but you're also, even though you know it could be a disgusting or grotesque scene, part of you still has that curiosity to see what that is. So I'll say this. I think some of those things that you're talking about are a little bit like innate. There's a little bit of that morbid curiosity in everybody, but it also still means that you have to, I think that even though you're saying like you say things because you feel like you have to, not because you care, at least you have the sense to say things because you know, okay, you have a platform that.
Yeah, I know right from wrong. And I think
that's the thing. Like,
that's what makes me sort of sane. Let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
When ISIS was cutting people's heads off, did you search to see the unedited version?
No.
You did? You were monsters.
Yeah, I did.
I did not.
We're all monsters.
I just wanted to see what it was.
And then you were like, oh my God, what did I just watch? Why did I watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then they did it again in 2 weeks, and you was like, "Oh, let me Google it."
One and done.
I seen it once. I'm good.
That's horrible.
There used to be like videos called like Faces of Death. Yeah, they'll show like all the fatalities.
Yeah, I got sent.
Did you watch Evil Genius on Netflix?
No.
It's about this woman who I think it's a woman.
She's a serial killer with Sandra Oh.
I don't know. I didn't see the whole thing. I just watched the first episode.
I never saw it, but
but yeah. So they rob a bank and they wrapped a bomb around this guy's neck.
I heard about that.
And it blew up, and they showed it on Netflix. And I watched it, and I was like, oh, that was gruesome. A bomb. This guy just exploded. It was horrible.
Oh, my
Evil
goodness.
Genius, we're going to put that down.
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I feel like once you decapitate somebody, I can imagine what that looks like. Even sometimes when it takes you by surprise, because just this past week or two, there's in Baltimore, there's the train system called the light rail. So I don't know how it happened, but someone ended up being killed by the train. And the next thing I knew,
had videos.
People had video of the remains of this person, and this person was like
severed.
Yeah, in half, and it goes to, and it does touch on how desensitized even our kids are, because it was like kids Snapchatting it, and so like my friends who were teachers were like, "Did your kids show you this?" And my kids didn't happen to, but they were like, "Yeah, my high schoolers were like sharing this video around," and it just without. And they were just looking at it without even any type of like emotional reaction to it. So it's kind of disheartening. What?
I think it's called Untraceable.
I know with Colin Hanks, and they were every time the video got more likes than the person died. Yeah. It was kind of like ahead of its time. Like foreshadowing. Yeah, of how people are so into watching these horrible, grotesque things, but they'll still click on it and they'll still get millions and millions of views. Yeah, and
it's all sad.
Yeah, it is. Woo, we took a kind of dark turn right there, but
we're gonna bring it back up though.
So, this is Here's a question. Do you ever plan to or want to use your platform to like also like initiate? Is there any like special interests that you have? Any type of like service oriented things that you would want to like see happen, or that you would want to use your platform for, like in a community service oriented way?
I just try to motivate people. Like I really want young kids to know that they can do pretty much whatever they want to do. While there is still systemic racism in the world, there's holes in this shit, and you can get really far if you just do the work. And a lot of times we think it won't work if we do it, and it will. You just got to keep at it. So I kind of want to instill that, and that's one of my passions, is just letting kids know that you can do this shit.
I think it's important, because
definitely.
I stand in front of 30 to 35 kids a class period a day, 4 times a day. And it's so important for them to understand that there are other venues and avenues in which they can like achieve their dreams or do things.
You don't need to be a rapper.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You can be the rapper's manager. You don't need to be, you can be a producer. You could be a publisher. You could be the ASCAP person. Yeah. You can be the one who transcribes. There's so many other avenues that you can go down and still be in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
But I mean, the key thing I think you said is the work. You got to be able to put the work in, not be afraid of failing. I think that's one of the major things. Like,
you fail your way to success. You can't even be successful if you don't fail.
100%, yeah.
Definitely. Well,
we're going to go into the relationship side.
Yes, because we are still a relationship podcast with this old married couple right here. So we do have a few relationship questions for you, sir.
Old, you're old, but...
Shut up. So, what's your longest relationship?
6 years.
That 6 years situationship? Okay. Was that the worst breakup too? Or is there a different one that was the worst breakup? Because that was the next question.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I've had breakups. I don't know. They're all the same.
Yeah.
You never want to stop loving, do you? Once you get into love, you don't want to stop loving. My last name is Valentine. That's my real last name. So like I'm a huge fan of love. So once you love someone, you never want to stop loving them. True. Every breakup is hard.
I asked that to say because we haven't experienced that. So like,
haven't experienced a breakup?
Nope.
Rub it in people's faces. Why don't
you? Well, no, you listen. You got Oprah. Cool. I got no breakups.
I don't wish a heartbreak or a breakup on anyone.
Yeah, and I don't either. And that's why like we ask, because we can only present one kind of perspective from this whole relationship thing. We're high school sweethearts. We're married. We have a kid, and that's our story, but that's not the only story. Yeah. And so that's why
that's the key to love. It's like once you love someone, you got to be willing to ride out that whole shit. Because this shit isn't just all peaches and cream.
Nah, not at all. He says that all the time.
Love is like, I can't stand you. I just want to punch you in your fucking face. Get away from me.
Facts.
And trekking through it. You know what I mean? Like, this shit ain't easy till death do us part through sickness and in health. That's why they say that shit. It's a range of feelings and emotions.
Peaks and valleys.
It ain't, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of the death. Like, you have to walk, in order to get through it, you got to go through it. And that's really what love is being able to to go through that bullshit. Like, and it's bullshit. It's dumb fucking reasons.
Yep.
TJ, why your boxes on the floor again? Like, it's dumb fucking reasons.
Yep.
Like, damn, I forgot to pick them shits up. I meant to. But that don't help her. You know what I mean? So...
Yeah.
You just got to go through that shit. You got to be willing to fight it out no matter what.
That's the biggest thing you got to be willing to do. And that's what I always say, like, relationship, marriage, it's not a job, but it's work. Like, it's always work. You got to be willing to work at it through the good, through the bad, and not worry about it. You know?
Absolutely.
Sometimes people be like, oh, we got an argument, it's over. And it's so much more than that. Like, you have so much more involved into it. And once you add kids into it, now you can't just be like, well, it's over.
How old is your child?
She's is 1.
1 year old?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Thank you.
First one?
Yeah.
They get bigger.
They do.
And not only do they get bigger, they get a mind of their own.
Yeah. She already got a mind of her own.
Who taught you that? I don't know. I just learned it. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
You're learning stuff on your own now?
I know. It's like, it's fascinating and frightening all at the same time. Like, you know, I say, like, being a parent is like the most exhausting, amazing thing I've ever done, because I'm always tired, but then I've always got like an iota more energy for her.
Is she talking yet?
She's saying something
like small words, but she's like active and she's like climbing everything, pulling things out.
You know the first thing they do after they start talking?
What?
Is they learn to lie.
I'm not ready.
Like at 2, they'd be like, did you have another cookie? No. The first thing they do, they lie. That's their first independent thought, is a lie. People are horrible.
Yeah.
Not to say that your child's horrible.
No, I know, but
people in general, as a whole.
Hopefully.
The human species.
Hopefully we can nip it in the butt. I know, because it's going to come. It's going to happen. It's just now you got to figure out, like, okay, you don't lie to me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You can lie to everybody else. You can't lie over here.
Yeah.
Listen, no, still gonna lie. It's gonna get better at it.
Yeah. Oh God. I can't wait to say all those like typical black mom quotes and be like, you know what? I brought you in this world. I will take you out. I'm gonna like, I don't got no kin at, well, now it's not Con Ed. My mother used to always say that. I don't got no kin at Con Ed. Cut off all these lights. So I can't wait for all those moments when she can actually like understand and take all those.
I never learned that. I'm pretty sure all the lights are on in my apartment right now.
See, that's, you gotta unplug, turn those lights off, because I pay the electricity up in here. Your career is really unique. It's you know, it's different. And so what are some of the best and worst parts about how the line or lines of work that you're in impact your ability to be in relationships?
How my job, it's so hard because the girl I'm with has to be super secure because I'm around the most beautiful women in the world. Mm-hmm. I'm around the most beautiful people in the world. Like, and I'm realizing now that it's like they're not perfect. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of body work. It's a lot of getting their faces done and their teeth done and their boobs done. It's a lot of work. And guys getting like pec implants and all this other shit. Mm-hmm. Like, I noticed that, you know what I mean? So, but, you know, and as a guy, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Well, you used to be able to do whatever you want to do. Yeah. Now you can't. But it's still not hard for us.
No,
to
not
do anything, especially when you're successful.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is show up.
Is all you do?
I fuck above my pay grade all the time.
Go ahead, babe. I'm sorry.
What are you looking for in a partner?
Somebody that don't get on my nerves. That's just really the key. You gotta get on my nerves, and I gotta like you. Like, yeah, I gotta feel like you too good for me, but I'm too good for you, so that's why you with me. I gotta feel like that. It's weird.
So you gotta feel like both of y'all like leveled up by being with each other, kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like I got lucky, and so did she.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. She's definitely more lucky because she's with me.
I appreciate the confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm phenomenal. I do everything great.
Look at that. I thought you were the most confident person I've met.
No, I do. I really, really do. Like, I'm great at comedy. I'm great at interviews.
You are.
I am great at drawing. I am great at cooking. The only thing I'm not great at
that's going to be my question.
Out. That's the only thing I'm not great at. I suck at working out.
Listen, it's a struggle.
Work out. Now, we can play basketball. I'm good with that. That
I don't even do that.
Oh, nah. If that counts as a workout, I'm there. I'm there.
Oh, my goodness. So I think we only have a few more questions for you. But,
You can ask that one.
oh, what? Go ahead.
No, mine didn't come up.
Oh, you're deleted? So, well, I guess you kind of answered that one, but what, if you had to give me like 3 things that you were like looking for, I'm sorry, you said like looking for in a partner, but like, yeah, no, what 3 things? I know you said like what you're looking for them not getting on your nerves, but like if you had to give me 3 criteria about what they had to have, like what would those 3 things be?
Honestly, at this point in my life, I want a woman who's down for my kinks.
Okay. Fair.
Kinky. I kind of want that shit now. I'm old now, so I'm like, you know what?
You're more secure in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Grow
fair.
coochie hair. Like, I like that shit.
True. Okay.
I want someone who is understanding.
That's very important.
Because shit's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, and understand that it'll never be on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But shit's gonna happen, and we're gonna have to work through it and be willing to work through it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times when people don't work through shit, it's because they're not willing to work through it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the key to any successful relationship, is to be willing to work through the bumps in the road. Like you don't just, like, there's instant ways to make a cake. Like so like I look at it like cooking, right?
Okay.
If you're baking a cake, or it's instant cake. You just pour water in it and stir, put it in the pan, throw it in the oven. You got the cake. And then there's complete cake where you put the flour and the sugar and the raisins, and it's all of that. And a lot of times we want complete cakes. Those are thoughts. They just want it now. We're in a microwave generation. We want it now. But true love is a step-by-step mixture of a lot of different things that you build towards something. And it ain't always an easy process. There's a certain way you got to sift the flour and fold in the eggs and whip the baking soda and add the sugar, then put it in the oven the right way at the right temperature for the right time. It's a lot of different steps you got to take in order to get there. And that's one of the reasons why you don't always call everybody your friend either. Like, some people are just acquaintances.
Absolutely.
And that's fine being an acquaintance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people are there for a reason. Some people are just thoughts. Like, some women are just you're just meant to have a fling with. Some women you're meant to have a temporary relationship with. And some women you're meant to be with. One woman you're meant to be with for the rest of your life.
Reason or season?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to get married?
One day, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But it's more so for my mother.
Really?
My mother wanted me to get married. She deserves to see me in a suit and tie.
Okay.
If I never get married, I'm fine, I guess. Well, I don't want to die alone. And
I mean, you don't have to be married to be with somebody forever.
I'm a weird person. Like I told you, I'm very difficult.
Okay.
So I don't want to die alone. I don't want to sit in the house thinking. Like, my dad was in the house by himself for like 2 weeks, dead.
Wow.
Yeah, my uncle was too. Like, all the men on my dad's side died alone.
Really?
And somebody had to find him. Like, why is stinking it? And they found him bloated and dead. So I don't want that for myself. So I kind of gotta have somebody so they could call an ambulance when I die.
So they could be like,
that's the only reason though. That's the only reason though.
So they could be.
Because I have a phenomenal body and I want it to be intact when I die.
Yes, we need to worship, and not to even say worship. They need to appreciate the man that you are and the man that you are.
My body is a temple and it deserves to be worshipped.
Okay, I appreciate that. I need to scoop a dose of your confidence.
So for the last question, where do you see yourself? What is the end goal for Xilla?
I want my production company to be prosperous. I want to own a multi-channel network to where I have multiple channels, like the same way Fox has Fox Sports, Fox News, Fox Movies, FX. I kind of want, that's what I want. I want a multi-channel network of production stuff, yeah.
Dope.
I love it.
Dope.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I hope I wasn't boring.
No, not at all.
You got a whole bunch of stuff.
You had
all over.
You gave me some gems. You took
confidence.
It was like wonder. I laughed. I cried. Like on the inside. You know, that type of thing. But I really appreciate it. We really do. And like always, we just gonna end with our quarrel, because this show is Lovers Quarrel. Ding 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 ding. Fight.
Okay.
You ready? You in a little Mortal Kombat too?
Sure.
get over here.
All right.
Whoopsies. All of that.
I heard all that good jazz.
Oh, you always hate on my sound effects.
Nah, be great.
Okay. Well.
So what's the quarrel for the week?
The quarrel for this week is, and again, I think we talked about this earlier today or yesterday, but when the time comes for you to get married, right? Mm-hmm. Should you, if we have a little video here, somebody forgot their ring.
I did.
So the question of the quarrel is, when you're married, should you always wear your wedding bands?
And I say no.
And I say yes with explicit exceptions. Like if I'm going to the gym, when I try to work out, no, I don't have to. If I'm doing a quick like store run, but if I'm going out for the day, I have on my ring. And you don't. And that's because
I forgot it.
So that's your only reason. But you don't think that you have to.
No, I personally don't think that you have to, because what is this, besides showing people that I'm married, is that your only qualm? Is that your only issue with it?
I mean,
like you just want me to make sure people know? I
feel like if you use it for, it's the symbol of marriage, right?
No, I get that.
Can I jump in?
Yes, you can.
TJ, if she walked out with her ring, how would you feel?
If she walked out without
she went out today without her ring, how would you feel?
I would be a little uneasy. And the reason why I would say that is because she always wears her ring. I don't always wear my ring. So that's where I'm like, it's at least for me, I'm going to look at it and be like, is she trying to tell me something?
I'm going to try to take a nonverbal dig.
Now, if she said I'm not wearing it because, I don't want someone to rob me, something like that, I'd be like, all right, cool. But my question with it is, I don't think that people should be forced to have to wear their ring.
No, it's definitely a double standard.
100%.
It's definitely a double standard. If you forget your ring, you forget your ring. You're a guy. You forget your ring. But if she forgets her ring, you cheating. It's different. And
I can see that.
You would be way more upset. But she's thinking of it with her logic, which is what a lot of times women do when it comes to men. They think with women logic, with their logic. And men logic and women logic are totally different. So while you're like, oh yeah, I just forgot it. She's like, I would never forget my ring. I love you. I'm yours.
She's never rings before.
What? Where have I forgot my rings? I've gone to the only time I don't wear my ring is when I'm going. If I'm doing something like outdoorsy, like I know, like or whatever, or if I'm going to like the store and home. I'm not going like out for the day. Like I'm dressed, I'm showered.
Where's your ring at? Do you know where your ring is? Where is it?
It's in my bathroom.
It's in the bathroom.
Yep.
By the sink.
Yep. Exactly where it's at.
Because so when we got married, especially because I gave him a window of time where I was like, okay, we were engaged for like almost 3 years by the time we got married. So I'm like, I've gotten accustomed to wearing a ring, an engagement ring, and then I had a wedding ring and everything like that. So I was like, you got like 6 months to kind of like get on the train here and like remember your, because it goes from never wearing any type of jewelry rings to wearing this one all the time. So I was like, you have that window, but he does sometimes.
Do you forget your ring once a week?
No.
Once a month?
Sometimes. But for me, like anyone who knows me knows I'm married. I talk about my wife. There's no hiding or anything like that. So that's just my thing. Now, I do know that there are people out there who, if they're not wearing their ring, that means that they're trying to be single or whatever the case may be. Sure. So I can understand that. But my thing is, there's people who wear their ring and cheat with their ring on. Like, if you're going to cheat, like, if the affair is cheating can happen at any time, no matter what the situation is. That's just my thought.
And I'm not even concerned about him cheating or anything like that. I'm more.
He's still your husband without the ring, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not concerned about him cheating, but I feel like I guess it's like a symbol. It's a gesture. I wear mine, so you should wear yours. And I think that's what it kind of boils down to for me.
Yeah, definitely should boil down to that. But here's the thing I want to say. Mm-hmm. A ring should never cause a fight because he's still your husband.
Absolutely.
But that ring means the world to her. It means equally as much to her as you mean to her. So therefore, you should never forget your ring because she cares. If she didn't care, then forget your ring every now and then. but she gives a fuck about it. And that's the sole reason you should never forget your ring, because it's a small thing. Like, if you guys were 2 exits on the way here and he was like, babes, I forgot my ring, would you have turned around for him to go get his ring?
From Maryland?
2 exits away from your home from Maryland, yeah.
Oh, if we were like 2 exits from our house, I would, depending on how far we had to go, I'd say, yeah, we could turn around and get it.
Okay.
Because I mean, and that's the thing. I just think that you got to
now, just for perspective, if you guys were 2 exits away, 2 exits away from home, and she was like, babes, I forgot my ring, what would you say?
Hey, you forgot it. We got to keep going.
And this is why we quarrel, but we still love each other.
We do still love each other.
I'm just saying you guys need to
gave me a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that. And I'll be sure to be more mindful of that.
I'll put a little post-it note by the front door.
This.
Thank you.
You won this quarrel.
Thank you. Thank you, Xilla, for helping.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Xilla Valentine at Blogxilla Free Game Podcast.
All of that. Give it all. And for us, is there any other handles you want them to know? Anybody else?
Blogxilla, BLOGXILLA.
That.
At Instagram and Twitter.
And we'll be sure to have that on the bio of the episode, so you'll be able to get that information.
Yep. And of course, if you're interested in following us, we are at Lovers Quarrel Show on Instagram, Lovers Quarrel 7 on Twitter. That's where you'll definitely get to hear a lot of TJ.
Yeah, I'll be on there all the time. So.
Yeah, I'll be teaching. So
yeah, exactly.
And if you have any questions, feedback, commentary, email us at loversquarrelshow@gmail.com. And I think that's about it. That was great.
That's it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. You could be doing anything else, but you took your time to listen to us. So we truly appreciate it.
And we thank you, Xilla Valentine, again, for you taking the time out.
Awesome. I appreciate you.
We appreciate you, too.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you. And as always, we fuss.
We fight, but we love.
Bye.
Farewell.